Turn off the lights. Get comfortable. And think about your neighbors. The people living right next to you. You wave to them in the morning. You hear them through the walls at night. You assume you know them. You assume they're real. This is the story of Daniel, a man who waved to his neighbor every single morning for 10 years, until the day he checked the building records and discovered that apartment had been empty since 2004. Let me take you back to where this started. Daniel moved into his apartment in 2014. 3rd floor, end of the corridor. Quiet building. Mostly older residents. He liked it immediately. Clean hallways. Nobody playing loud music. The kind of building where people kept to themselves. On his first morning, he was leaving for work. Locked his door, turned around. And the door of apartment 3B, directly across the hall, opened. A man stepped out. 60s maybe. Gray hair, dark coat. He looked at Daniel, nodded once, and walked toward the elevator without a word. Daniel thought nothing of it. Quiet neighbor. Fine. The next morning, same thing. Daniel locking his door. 3B opening. The man stepping out. Same gray hair, same dark coat. This time he said, "Morning." Just that. One word. Daniel said morning back, and that was it. For 10 years, that was it. Every single morning, Daniel locking his door. 3B opening. The man stepping out. Morning. Morning. 10 years. Daniel didn't know his name. Didn't know what he did. Didn't know anything about him except that he left at the same time every single morning. And always wore the same dark coat. In 10 years, Daniel never saw him come home. Never heard him through the walls. Never saw him at any other time, except that one moment every morning. He assumed the man worked long hours, came home late. Old people sleep lightly. Maybe he just never noticed. He didn't think about it. Until January of last year. Daniel was working from home. Sitting at his desk by the window. 2 p.m. on a Tuesday. And he heard it. Footsteps in the corridor. Slow, coming from the direction of the elevator.
Morning.
He looked through his peephole. The man from 3B. Walking down the corridor.
Morning.
In his dark coat. At 2 p.m. on a Tuesday. Daniel thought nothing of it. Until the footsteps stopped. Right outside his door. He looked through the peephole again. The man was standing there. Right outside Daniel's door. Just standing. Facing the door. Not knocking. Not moving. Just standing there. Staring at the door. Daniel stood at the peephole for 5 full minutes. The man didn't move. Didn't knock. Didn't leave. Just stood there. Staring at the door. Daniel finally opened it. The corridor was empty. He looked both ways. Nothing. The man was gone. The corridor was maybe 30 feet long. There was nowhere to go that fast. Unless apartment 3B. Daniel stood in the corridor and looked at the door of 3B. Closed. Completely silent behind it. He went back inside. Told himself he'd imagined it. But the next morning, same as always. Daniel locking his door. 3B opening. The man stepping out.
Morning.
Morning.
Robert Haines.
Morning. like nothing had happened. Daniel smiled back and said nothing. 2 weeks later, the building manager came to fix Daniel's radiator. While he was there, Daniel mentioned the man from 3B. Just casually. My neighbor across the hall. He's lived there a long time, right? The building manager looked up from the radiator. 3B, he said. Yeah, Daniel said. The building manager was quiet for a moment. Then he said, 3B has been empty since 2004. Daniel laughed. No, it hasn't, he said. There's a man living there. Gray hair, dark coat. I see him every morning. The building manager put down his tools. Son, he said, I've managed this building for 15 years. 3B has been vacant the entire time I've been here. The previous manager told me the same thing.
Morning.
Empty since 2004. Daniel went cold. That's not possible, he said. I see him every single morning. The building manager looked at him carefully. Then he said, what does he look like? Daniel described him. 60s, gray hair, dark coat. The building manager picked up his tools slowly. I need to go, he said. And he left without fixing the radiator. Daniel stood in his apartment for a long time after that. Then he went to the corridor, stood in front of 3B, put his ear to the door. Silence. He knocked. No answer. He knocked again. Nothing. But in the gap under the door, a shadow. 2 feet. Standing on the other side. Not moving. Not answering. Just standing there. Daniel stepped back. Went to the building office the next morning. Asked to see the records for 3B. The woman at the desk pulled them up without question. Vacant since October 2004. No tenant on record since a man named Robert Haines, who died in that apartment in October 2004. Daniel asked if there was a photo on the rental file. She found one, an old driving license scan. She turned the screen toward him. Gray hair, dark coat. The man from 3B. The man Daniel had said morning to every single day for 10 years. Daniel didn't go home that night. He stayed at a friend's place. Then another friend's place. For 2 weeks, he didn't go back. When he finally did, he stood at the end of the corridor, looking at his door, and at 3B across from it. He walked slowly to his apartment, put his key in the lock, and from behind the door of 3B, a voice. Quiet. One word. Morning. Daniel left that building the same day. He's never been back. But here's the thing that stays with him. The thing he can't explain no matter how hard he tries. Every morning, wherever he is now, he still hears it. Just as he's leaving. Just as he locks the door. One word. Quiet. From nowhere. Morning. Some neighbors you can't move away from. Some neighbors were never really neighbors at all. They were just there. And once they know you, they don't forget. Sleep well tonight. And if someone says morning to you tomorrow, think about whether you really know who's saying it. This has been Scary Ghost Stories to Tell in the Dark. Subscribe to Storivox Media for a new story every week. And leave us a comment. Do you know who's really living next door? Good night. Or whatever's left of it.